will happen tomorrow, but I hope a good surprise. I could flip all the time that I borrowed and make another life. You can break my stride. There's a palace in my mind, made of light, and it's your yeah, yeah. The stars are falling, skies are raining gold. Yeah, yeah. Forever I'm free, that's what could be. So I'm waiting. I don't need a rush, I'm patient. However long it takes, I'll be there one day. Hey. Eternal, I'm alive and chasing whatever it is I'm facing. I can't walk away. There's so much left to say. Hey. Our story never has to end. Eternal, I'm alive again. Eternal, I'm alive again.
What up, chat? How we doing today? We have 2 chats on screen. Double the chats, double the fun. Oh my goodness. 23 months of tier 1 from Vacanus and 23 gifted subs. My goodness. All right, here's the problem, Twitch chat, or sorry, YouTube chat. Here is a downside, YouTube chat, for you guys. I do not have you guys on this screen. Sorry, listen, sorry. It's not intentional. If I had time, I would have set it up. If I had time, I would have set it up. But unfortunately for you, it's just Twitch on the screen. And if you're going to be voting in the early polls that we're going to be doing at the start of the stream, you have to be in Twitch as well. You have to be in Twitch as well. Thank you for the 23 gifted subs. Thank you to Bart, who actually became a member before the stream even started, which was huge. Thank you, thank you. That's a member over on YouTube. Hey, you're back from the coin flip? Yeah, a lot of people probably got off easy. When was the last time we streamed? I'm not sure when the last time we went live was. It's been a bit. It's been a bit, guys. But here's what we're going to do today. For those of you who aren't aware, we got lots of things to do. Tone on a 20 stream streak. My goodness. Okay. What we have to do is first, you guys are going to pick your top 10 1v1 players from 2023. This is all of 2023. All of 2023. This is not who is the best player right now at this very moment. It is not that. It is not that. That is a different list. The list is top players from the whole year. If you were to consider the whole year's performance, who had the best year. And then I'll show you mine. I've already done my top 10 list. I'll show you after you guys do yours. And then I know what you guys are really maybe wanting to do as well, which is you want to rank where everyone stands right now after Salt Mine. I think after Salt Mine 3 was a pretty big tournament. Everyone wants to say like who's the best now. what are the tiers now that we've seen everybody play so many different games. So we're going to do that as well. And I haven't done that yet. Me and you guys are going to do that together. I'll take some of your input from it, but I will also make the executive decisions as I do around here. Okay? I make the executive decisions whenever you guys are too crazy. Tone is on a 20 stream streak. That's insane. That's actually insane. Wait, Joria's got a sub? Yo, shout out Joria's. Shout out Joria's. Major Camel Joe. Anybody who gifted a sub? Oh, Hootie who got a sub too. Only Ray got a sub. He's gifted a ton of subs. You know, he deserves to be the receiver. Astroneer. I remember meeting Astroneer at Boston. What up, Pedrohino? Hey, Fear, how are you? Really enjoyed the video on life. Saw him on a Tryhouse stream while he was still on Switch. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. Yo, a $2 YouTube chat. If I am not F tier, this is rigged and wrong. Listen, here's the deal, Diff. You might not be in it at all. Stash be looking nice. Thank you. Thank you. Moxie or Ross, number one. Well, you guys are going to get to pick your number one really quickly. You're not going to have to wait long to pick your number one. So, just to give you guys an idea, though, as a little bit of a reminder, I want to give you guys this. This is kind of what I did to remind myself as well, just to be clear. Because I think a lot of you guys are going to be thinking Salt Mine 3. You're going to be thinking Salt Mine 3. That's what I want to vote on. I just want to vote on whoever did the best in Salt Mine 3. I don't want to vote on anything else. I'm going to scroll back here on both my channel and Johnny's channel for the year of 2023 on YouTube. Just give you an idea of the games that were played that you maybe forgot about. Just real quick. So you can also know where the cutoff was. If you're thinking of like Fall 5K from last year, that was fall of last year. If you're thinking of Fear Fest finale, that also finished right before last year. So that's kind of our cutoff moment. Gamers 8 all happened this year, that kind of stuff. Yo, read the song. Thank you for the tier 1 for 26 months. You can finally chill here. Wait, why do you mean that? Thank you for the 65 months of tier 1 from Ryan. Wow. Special K tier 1 for 16 months. Looking nice and crispy today. Guys, we got a bunch of new Odd Job hats for Christmas. So we're going to see new hats. New hats on stream. So that's probably why it looks so crispy. Brand new. Brand new white hat. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. I think we can go to this screen here. Now both chats should be back on screen. Twitch chat is on top of YouTube chat. But like, I'm about 9 months in the past, just scrolling through old YouTube videos over here on my channel. Next Gen was technically a part of it, and here's where Fear Fest finale happened. So this is the cutoff right here, pretty much, because some of the YouTube videos went into January, but those games didn't happen in January. So Next Gen Season 4, I think, was the start of it. We had show matches. I think there was, I'm trying to look through any tournaments. You can see through various show matches. Maybe RLCS is probably going on around this time. Oh, yeah, we had Ranked Royale. So Ranked Royale is like early on. Remember Ranked Royale? That happened during this year. You guys get an idea of the various show matches. Remember, there's a big show match between Dupo and Moxie. $500. Yan did a bunch of show matches on up to here. Then we start getting into Gamers 8. And then here's Johnny from 11 months ago. You guys remember the 1v1s. The World Cup 1v1 was played, I believe, in January. I'm like 90% sure. I'm hoping that they didn't do that right at the end of the last year. Oh, did they? Wait, I included 1v1 World Cup. Wait a second. Here, I'll tell you what. I included 1v1 World Cup. Maybe I made a mistake doing that. That might have been right at the end of the year last year instead of at the start of this one. Let me see. Oh, it was. Interesting. I included 1v1 World Cup. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. If you guys want to not include it, that's fine. To me, it wasn't. I didn't like weight it super heavy because it was kind of like teams. So I don't think it changes my rankings at all. It's gonna be included in mine. That was a mistake. I thought that happened in January, but it was the same deal as my Fear Fest finale, where I think some of the games got uploaded in January, but they were not played in January. Old Fear wouldn't have made that mistake. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. You're going to get banned? Don't play the videos? I'm not playing any of these videos. We're doing our own rankings. Then there was the Zen streak. This is the Zen streak ending. So that was like 9 months ago now. Zen streak happened during this year, obviously. Rule 1v1 Invitational. You guys remember that? Chalkcast, Duels, Feer Fiesta, all that kind of stuff. All that's happened. And that should be included in your rankings, not just, you know, Saltmine 3. Saltmine 3 is just the biggest part, but just a part of 2023. Makes sense? I included the World Cup, and I'll be honest, that was a mistake. Shouldn't have included the World Cup. Don't think it changes anything that I did. Let's go. I'm gonna skim through my rankings and see, was the World Cup the difference for anybody? No, I wouldn't reorder that guy because of the World Cup. Yeah, I don't think that the world, maybe it would have changed a slight order here or there, but I'm just gonna stick with what I had. There's maybe 2 people I would swap if I think about it really hard, but okay, here's what I did, chat. Here's what we're gonna do. I have a list that you guys are gonna pick from in the straw poll. I included like the top 40 or so, 50 players from RL Duels, rlduels.gg. Those are your options. Now, if you want somebody outside of those and you don't see them in this poll, let me know. The way we're gonna do it, let me pull up the, I think this is the scene we're gonna use, is first off, you're gonna have to, actually I could type it in both chats. You could vote on this one from both chats, Twitch or YouTube, but you're gonna be voting on the best player, because the easiest way for you guys to do it is not try and like work it backwards from 10 to 1. The easiest way is to eliminate the best player one by one for you guys. So I'll reveal mine, of course, in reverse order, but you guys are gonna pick from best to worst. Thank you, Bold Blooded, for the tier 1 for 3 months. So I'm gonna give you guys this link, and you should be able to vote. And as you vote, I should see your votes come in. Worst to best is better, but it's impossible to do that in terms of you guys picking options. You can't like make your own list, then go pick number 10, and then you end up not, you know, getting the top person correct because you're like worried about doing it backwards. So I think there's a way to turn on live results. Oh, I can, maybe I just have to refresh it. That's not ideal, I'll be honest. I mean, I can just refresh up here, I guess. I think that there was one that did it live in the past, but it like went out of business or something. Because strawpoll.me, I think, did it live. Strawpoll.com, which is the one we're using right now, does not. Ninja takes it for sure. Dude always has so many mats, and his edits are crazy. He does not play no build, or sorry, he does not play build Fortnite anymore. Come on. Us real Ninja fans know that. Yo, nice to be nice. Thank you for the 18 months. And I'll keep track of your guys' list over here. It's looking like the start is going to go to Rawas. They're in alphabetical order, of course. Trying not to sway you guys either way. You disagree with Rawas being number 1? Well, the rest of chat disagrees with you. I wonder if this is how we're going to see the top 5 filter out. Like, do you think first place votes could do it? Some people have Diaz and Zapatos. Keep in mind, this is votes for the best 2023. So not just who's the best right now, who had the best 2023. And it's looking like Rawas. I think that's good enough. We're going to take Rawas out as an option. I think I should be able to remake this poll fairly easily. We'll see if my strategy works. Okay, this... Can I see... Are any of these results... Okay, I don't think there's like a show up automatically, which is too bad. Strawpoll.me does have that. Please enter a poll title. There is one there. Interesting. Okay. Not including Rawas. Not including Rawas. Obviously, since he's not on this list. You guys picked him as number 1. Who does chat have as the second best 1v winner from 2023? "100% Zen. He clapped Moxie 3 times before. Moxie won once against him. Ruas made every Final Four in Salt Mine. Moxie won one and dipped." As a Daniel fanboy, I'm going to be unbiased. I think that that's what I say all the time. That's just me streaming. Nast literally went from 0 to final winner. Listen, it's up to you guys to decide where that means they should fall. Yeah, I do need to refresh probably a little bit more often. I'll try and refresh every few seconds. Zen and Moxie very close. Zen, Moxie, Daniel. It's interesting that you guys had Moxie cleanly as second place when in first place votes. But now everyone's toss-up between Moxie and Zen. I will not coin flip this one. Coin flip doesn't feel right. I'll let you guys settle it. But here's what I'm going to do. Yo, Ninja Krabby, thank you for the Prime. 15 months of Prime. Prime till full time, indeed. I'm going to pull up a timer. A stopwatch. And once the stopwatch hits a minute, I'm going to hit refresh one last time. Let's go with 30 seconds. Once it hits 30 seconds, I'm going to hit refresh one last time. Whoever's winning in that moment, that's who won. If they're tied, I'm going to just spam refresh until somebody wins. So you guys have a few more seconds to vote. If you just showed up, here's where you want to vote at. Sleaze Breeze, maybe that's tier 1 for 11 months. Happy holidays, Fear and chat. Happy holidays to you as well. All right, there it is, 30 seconds. Oh, I scammed everybody. Okay, Moxie took the lead ahead of Zen. Everybody wants Moxie off the list. Where is he? If I know the alphabet, it'll be really easy. Okay. We want to paste the new answers. That should not have Moxie in it. Okay. We have Ruas 1, Chaz, Ruas 1, Moxie 2. Ruas was first in the poll. What are you talking? Oh, yeah, you're telling chat. Ruas has already been picked. Maybe I'll try and start a list for you guys here. Let me just put a little text on screen. Chat list. So that you guys can see it. This will be a better place to keep it anyways. So that you guys know what you have picked so far. That's just the high production that this stream offers. Whenever you guys are wondering whether or not you're going to get high production, you think, it's a Fear stream. Of course we're getting high production. All right. I think this one is pretty clear, so I'm not going to give it too much time. Obviously, everyone was deciding between Zen and Moxie in the previous round. And in this round, it seems like everyone's pretty sure it's Zen. So let's just save everybody some time and call it Zen. Take Zen off the list. All right. Chat was very sure about that. Who are the best 2023? You guys have Ruas as number 1, Moxie as number 2, Zen as number 3. Add Yan? Is Yan not in here? Yeah, we'll add Yan. I tell you what, I'll be surprised if anyone wants to pick Yan for number 4. If you wanted to pick Yan for number 4, type 1 in chat. And then if we have enough ones, then I'll redo this round and I'll put Yan back in. But oh, live results. How many of you guys saw that button? Wait, what's happening? I'm not getting the live results like I wanted. I clicked the button though. Which is not happening. Zen's still on the list? Is he really? Okay. Well, you guys are with it if that's true. Did somebody pick Zen? I don't see him on the list. Are you sure? Oh, there he is. Okay. Sorry. I needed to do a better job of deleting it, I guess. Chat seems to be pretty sure they did not scroll down to see that Zen was still on the list for the most part. Because they're pretty sure they want Daniel. So we will give Daniel as number 4. We'll remove him and I'll try and make sure. I thought I updated the list, but it didn't update last time. All right. Fully empty list. Maybe if I hit preview, we should not see Zen. We should not see Daniel. Okay. This one should be good. Moxie is still there too. Okay. Both of them should be gone now. I think my my copy paste thing must not have worked last time around, but I think I double checked. Is there Moxie on this list? No, right? He'd be in there somewhere. Who does chat have as number 5? Chat, do you guys think that we already disagree? Or do you think my list and your list are the same so far? Guys, why Nas over Nupo? Your list is better? You haven't even seen my list yet. I appreciate that fanboying though. Same, more or less. These ones are the easier ones. I think at the top, it's somewhat easy, you know. Oh, sorry. Let me refresh this again. We really got to... Ooh! Okay, chat was going back and forth over Nas and Nupo, so you know what that means. It's time to put another 30 seconds on the clock. Put it right here. 30 seconds on the clock, chat. Who is the 5th best 1v1er? Is it Nas? Is it Nupo? You will decide. One thing I will say is that the collection of people are usually pretty good at this. They're usually way better than the average like single person. And I'll maybe even go as far as to say you guys are probably even better than me doing it by myself, because I think a collection of people just is really effective. Oh, I missed it again, but we're past 30 seconds. Okay, it's Nupo. It's Nupo. Chat wants Nupo. So we will take Nupo off the list. And if we do a full delete, we see it's completely empty. I re-enter it. I preview it. I don't see any Nupos. Okay, this method should be good for future. Okay. Who is number 6? It seems like number 6 will be pretty clear based on what just happened. Not often. Yeah, I'm not going to give this a ton of time. Unless like TRK comes surging here. We have some TRK votes, some first killer votes. Unless he comes surging back to beat Nas at 30. It's not going to happen. Let's just save everyone's time. Let's just save everyone's time. Nas at 6. Nas at 6. So let's take Nas off this list. We got some people in chat pleading their case. I see some Drally question markers. Are you saying why is Drally on the list? Are you saying why did no one pick Drally? Or are you saying why did somebody vote for Drally in the last round? Could be for a lot of reasons. All right. Who do you guys have at number 7? Ooh, the perfect split. of every name that I've said on stream. Maybe I haven't said Jack. Not sure if I said Jack, or I might not have said TRK either, but I think I said TRK last round, actually. Okay, TRK taking the lead. Chat having TRK at 7. As you guys keep doing this, I keep checking back on mine to see how much we differ. And I'll tell you what, we do not have the same list already. We already don't have the same list. I will reveal that. Bro, you streamed too early. Way too many EU fanboys. Okay. It seems like maybe it's between TRK and First Killer, but really all these guys are like tied. It's pretty... let's just call it. TRK is clearly who everybody has for 7. All right. Whoops, went too far. Okay, full delete, paste, preview, no TRK. This is peak EU hours. It's over for NA. Well, I'll tell you what, my list has nothing to do with peak hours. So you have that going for you. Also, thank you, Reed, who's pinning the poll every time. True legend. All the chat are just backseat gamers. Emote only chat. I think if we had just YouTube do it, Dark would probably find his way into the top 10. Type 1 in the YouTube chat if you love Dark. Let's be honest. You do. All right. First Killer, Drally, Vatira, apparently Jack Khaled. This one is closer. This one is closer. I'm going to go pull up my worksheet too. It's interesting to see you guys' results. I did this all by myself, you know, as anyone would. And it's like, you try and think about if you forgot something or, you know, did I have it wrong? And it's interesting to see if you guys potentially reveal that I did get something wrong. All right, refresh. It's between First Killer and Drally, it seems. Fear, what did TRK achieve this year that has put him above Drally and others? He had a good salt mine. He had a decent salt mine. He had a decent Gamers 8, I think. And like I said, you guys could very clearly not be including the World Cup, which I thought was January, but was December. So if you did, like me, I made the mistake of including it. Then he won the World Cup with Rawasa Nupo. What's the website with the RL rankings? It's rlduels.gg. Okay. We will give it another 30 seconds. We'll give it another 30 seconds. But it's looking like First Killer is going to be the pick. Drally had a better salt mine. He literally won top 1 in EU before playoffs. Yo, Deadways, thank you for the prime. I think Drally had a more inconsistent salt mine. Part of it was not his fault. He had to qualify for the first one, and I think he failed to. And then played in the second and third, right? But he had good salt mines. He finished well. Oh, I just went way past 30 seconds again. You guys are so distracting. Oh, wow. Drally took it. Drally took it, and that was close enough that the NA fanboys are going to be pissed that I let it run. Just a little bit extra. All right. Let's see. So far, NA has one player on the list. Did I think dead weights for the prime 1 minute ago? Appreciate you. You think chat might go first killer, but you never know. First killer Vatira. Okay, first killer Vatira playoff. Another 30 seconds on the clock. Or another, you know, 30 plus seconds. And then whenever I actually notice it went over 30 seconds. I'm not voting Durali because he called me cringe and ranked once. Wavy is in here, bro. WTF, he made NA finals. Listen, you NA guys have got to fight harder, man. Yeah, so RL Duels, somebody pointed out that RL Duels has Daniel top 1. RL Duels is very reactive. And in a good way. In a good way. It's definitely, I'll tell you what, it's definitely not too stagnant, that's for sure. And maybe it's a tad overreactive. A tad. But I think that it's actually pretty good, what they have. RL Duels does. Okay, first killer's off the list. You guys are going to pick your 10th option. Let me make sure first killer's not showing up in this one. He's not. No first killer in this one. Who is your 10th? You guys had Vatira before. I've been talking about Wavy on stream, and some people have been fighting for it. So a lot of people voting Wavy. Wavy made grand finals. First killer did not. Interesting. That's an interesting question. How do you guys feel about the different salt mine stages? I'm kind of the mindset that each stage was like a major, and then the worlds was like, or the finals was like the worlds. But my perspective on majors is that they're actually like full on official lands that should be weighted very heavily. Like I don't know, I have them weighted very heavily, which is to say that winning a stage like stage 1 or stage 2, I have as like definitely under the finals, but kind of similar, kind of like almost the same, personally. So, Abject not 10 is completely stupid. Chat going Vatira. Vatira had a good end of the year. He started playing once, I think like halfway through. But his first few show matches, he competed, but he kind of lost like crazy, I would say. And then he had a great end. Like, he was never taking over the guys that you guys already have on the list, but he was certainly pretty good. And since the chat seems to be slightly EU biased, they're going to go with Vatira over Wavy most likely, but we'll give you guys another 30 seconds. I tell you what, ours differ. I'm not the sellout. I'm not the sellout, Epic Prince Gaming. For a second, I thought, wait a second, are our lists just going to be exactly the same? And they're not. I'll tell you that. And I think one of the biggest reasons why they are not the same is what I figured a lot of people would have a tough time doing, which is not prioritizing recency. Basically, recency bias. I think a Vatira pick, well, first off, a Wavy pick is super. Vatira and Wavy both are super recency bias picks, if you ask me. Wavy especially. Wavy is even probably more recency biased than Vatira, but Vatira is still slightly recency biased. But you guys went with Vatira. You guys went with Vatira. How do you guys feel? Your list is 10 times better. You already told me that. I'll reveal to you now that I have all 10 of you guys and who you guys thought about. There's somebody on your list that I didn't even think of. And to be fair, I should be thinking of everybody. So that's my bad, but I don't think the person makes my list still. I think even if they had been included, they maybe would make my honorable mentions, but I don't think the person would make my list. They made your list. So this list sucks. This list no good. Fear's list is way better. Drally is not on this list. Show the Fear list. Okay. Chat. It's time for the Fear list. And remember, at the end of the stream too, we're gonna go through actually before it's time for the Fear list, let me plug your list in to my little presentation that we have here. Actually, I think I need to stay on this scene so I can see it. All right. Let me plug your list in, chat, so that we can get the seamless experience. And then once we get into my list, we'll turn off the music too. And we'll just get down to the brass tacks of it all. I'll explain how I decided my top list. I kind of gave you guys a general idea. I didn't want to tell you too much and force your guys' hand. You know, I felt like if I gave you the exact criteria that I ended up using to pick mine, then maybe you'd feel like you had to. The general idea is you're just supposed to pick who had the best 2023. And I think you guys did a decent enough job at that. Okay, I have your list plugged in. So it's time to set up the Fear list. The Fear list reveal. We're going to run some ads. Yes, run ads, Papa. Good call. Good call. We're just going to run... I don't know how long it's going to take me. We're just going to run safety ads here. And then... which will be 3 minutes. And then we'll be almost for sure good. Because I don't want to have to like stop in the middle of doing my list. And we'll give you guys dance party before the music turns off. Chat's got to stop with this backseat gaming. To be fair, you're supposed to backseat game. That was kind of the point of you guys making your list. Daniel could squeeze into the top 4 spot, but he's worse than the top 3. Can you show Little Fear on stream? We showed Little Fear not long ago. By the way, everybody on YouTube, I don't think is getting ads right now. So even though they don't get their chats on screen, they don't have to deal with ads. How can you not be top 10 after winning 2 majors? This person maybe doesn't know we're talking about 1v1s. This person has... I mean, I don't know who... I don't think there's a major 1v1 that someone won 2 of and didn't show up on the list. I think you're probably thinking of Alpha 54 or Radosin, but those guys are not 1v1ers. You got Little Fear already? Yeah, I have him. He's 2 months old, man. He's like an adult, basically. You're on Twitch and you didn't get ads? Too bad. Just ignore you guys? Wait, what's going on in the YouTube chat? Wait. What are you guys talking about? Where the F is dark? Yo, YouTube didn't vote for dark. I thought maybe YouTube would put in enough votes. Baby Fear older than most Dan TDM viewers? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what Dan TDM is. Does that mean I'm super old? Zen has beat Daniel 4 times. Daniel only beat Zen once. Yeah, there's definitely a way to break down each individual comparisons. It's like, you know, I'll tell you what I did. I didn't look like direct head-to-heads between the players too much. I looked at like more how they did through the whole year and not just, you know, what their direct head-to-head was surrounding the people around them. You're sounding pretty cringe and like an NA fanboy. Wait, I want to see what this thread... Oh, I didn't see what Fate Allegiant said before that. Is Fate Allegiant being an NA fanboy? Common Fear W Logic. Thank you. Thank you. Gas me up. I'll take it all. Take all the gas. Wavy, did I get 11th? You did get 11th for chat. I think chat would confidently say you were 11. Here was the final vote for number 10. You were... I think chat would have picked you as 11. Don't get me started on all who Zen has lost to just in the salt mine. Is there a way to make these ads louder? I'm on max volume. I don't know, man. Okay, ads are done. Ads are done. Dance party also over. Okay. Let's see if we are ready for my list. And I'm going to talk a little bit about list making and why it's potentially important for us to do it. Let's see. I think I want to be here. And I want to take your guys' list off screen. Look at this, chat. Look at this. We should do a show match, Wavy versus Fear. Please put Dark in the list. Okay. We just got done doing chat's top 1v1 list for players in 2023. Now, it's important if you're tuning in, just watching now, or maybe watching on a YouTube video, that this is not who is the best right now at this moment at the end of 2023. This is who had the best 1v1 record or you know, body of work over the course of all of 2023. So, why do we do this? Why is this extra important, or why is this so interesting to do in Rocket League 1v1? Well, because we don't have the World Championship. You guys know in RLCS and 3v3, it's easy. Who's the best team? Whoever wins Worlds at the end of the year, whoever won the majors. It's much easier to tell. We have official Psyonix support for 3v3. But the problem with 1v1 is we don't have that. We never have perfect attendance at every tournament, so it's hard to say if somebody who didn't show up would have won. It's hard to compare the tournaments because who's to say one tournament is more important over the other? And it's not often supported by our game dev Psyonix, and it's hard to weigh online play versus LAN. But if you guys watch other esports, I don't watch a ton of others, but I do watch one other esport that is very similar to this, has a lot of the same things, and that is Melee. I don't know if any of you guys watch Melee. Super Smash Bros. Melee is not supported by their devs, even worse than Rocket League 1v1 for sure. I mean, we just had Salt Mine, $100,000 prize pool. So Psyonix does support us a little bit. Nintendo pretty much actively fights against Melee. But what Melee does at the end of every year, if you guys don't know, is they have a community ranking. They have a ton of people rank all the players from, I think, 100 to 1, and they use that to decide who had the best year. And they do this with a ton of people, and they weigh it super heavily. Everybody in the whole community agrees that whoever is community ranked top 1 is the best player, is the absolute best player. So this is something that I've always felt like we could do in theory for 1v1. We could get everybody a ton of respected community members, which I think is what Melee does, and we could come up with each year's best player. But for now, we just did 10. We didn't do 100. We just did 10, and so we took it a little bit easy. But I just wanted to bring this up because maybe it's something we could do in the future. And I'll get into what I rated my list on. My list is rated mostly on tournaments, but also a little bit of show matches. So what tournaments happened in 2023? We already talked about this with the chat that I was actually slightly wrong. I included the 1v1 World Cup because I made the mistake of looking at the YouTube videos and seeing that some of them came in January, which was dumb because it was played in December. So it shouldn't have counted. I included it. A cursory glance over my list. I don't think it changes my list too much based on how they those results. But anyways, the other ones all happened in 2023. And I kind of have these generally ordered from what I value as the most important tournament win to the least important tournament win. So FearFest Junior was a tournament that had like 4 people invited, low prize pool, no qualifiers. That would be kind of towards the end. And then the Salt Mine 3 final, obviously, biggest prize pool, biggest tournament ever. Everybody could have qualified if they could have. Whoever won that, I weighted the highest. And there's lots of other tournaments that happened through all that. Shotcast Duels, Fear Fiesta, the Rule 1v1 Invitational, the Gamers 8 1v1s. I counted as part of it. I think everybody thinks that those are big enough 1v1s, even though they're not technically just 1v1 matches. And then the Ranked Royale. And then, of course, the 1v1 World Cup, which technically didn't happen, but I did include in the slides. So we already went through you guys' top 10. We'll show chat's top 10 at the end, compare it to mine. But, oh yeah, there's also another thing I wanted to talk about. What show matches happened? A lot of different show matches happened in 2023. I didn't include all of them. The biggest ones, though, were the Zen streak. The Zen 1v1 streak, I think, is relevant enough, almost to like a level of a tournament, if not even higher, because it's huge. The cultural significance of the 1v1 streak was massive. Much bigger than many of the tournaments I even listed, I would argue. So now we get into my honorable mentions. Now, my honorable mentions coming up next are not necessarily the players who finished like 11, 12, 13. A lot of people do that, where they'll just say, oh, my honorable mentions for top 23 are just the top 10 extended. It's kind of that, but not fully, and you'll see why. So who did I can't remember fully who I put as my first, but yes, my first honorable mention for 2023. All the YouTube fans are going to love me for it, I assume, which is Dark, because Dark is one of the most exciting 1v1ers to watch in the game. It's very clear when Dark is playing in matches, everybody tunes up to see him. But the reality is, I mean, he's not a top 10 1v1er. He wouldn't show up in the top 10 1v1, but everybody loves to watch him. And so I think definitely his performance in 1v1 over the year is definitely worth an honorable mention. And I wouldn't even say that he's like, 11, 12, 13 or anything like that. But I had more honorable mentions, not just Dark. Also, Wavy. Wavy, I saw in chat earlier, if Wavy was expecting to be in the top 10, unfortunately, he is not. But he surged late, and it was definitely worthy of a mention. If it were the past 6 months or something, I think Wavy's in there clearly. But it is a full year ranking, and Wavy took a while to break in to that top 5 of North America. But I want to make sure he got a shout out because he's a guy who's been grinding tournaments forever. I mean, it's funny looking back now, he played in so many of those like $50 1v1 tournaments, which everyone thought was kind of like, oh, that's just, a top 10 North American player just farming these 1v1 events that nobody shows up to. And now we're realizing, no, this was like maybe the second best North American 1v1er who was just farming these $50 tournaments. I mean, it's unfortunate for anybody who had to play in those because you were going up against one of, if not, top 3, 4. I haven't really thought about it in North America, but Wavy, absolutely insane performance this year. Huge surge late, not enough to get into my personal top 10, but I want to make sure we talked about him. And then I also have Diaz and Yan. I don't think you guys had Diaz and Yan in your guys' list, but I wanted to shout out both of them. I think if you combined both of their years, then you'd have a top 10 player. Yan in his show matches and his early stuff, and then the finish from Diaz in the salt mine. If you combine them both, then it'd be one, it'd be both worthy of being in the top 10. But separately, I think Diaz had, kind of an invisible first half of his year, and Yan had a little bit of a rough time in tournaments and not the best finish. So I believe those are the end of my honorable mentions. I don't have my guide here. I'm just trying to remember my list. So I think we get into number 10 now. Number 10, apparently Jack. Oh, this is slightly off skew. Let's see if I can fix that. Live adjustment on stream. Let's see. I don't want to have him not showing up. What if we just do a little bit of this? Okay. There we go. That should fit. Actually, no, we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more. This is the high quality you guys insist on having here on the Fear stream. I know. And I'm glad to give it to you. Let's go with that. Okay, hopefully that'll be good. Hopefully that will be good. And we will have to do it. Oh gosh, chat. I lined this up earlier and I messed it up, but I think we need to do it on this as well. Okay. How's that? Okay, that'll just have to be good enough. That'll just have to be good enough. Why do you have 2 chats? Yeah, YouTube is there on the bottom. So I have 10. You guys did not have Jack. It wasn't close. The reason why I have Jack is because of his early on 1v1s. I think the Ranked Royale and Fearfest Jr., it was around the time that Jack was still confidently in the top 4. And it wasn't until later in this year that he kind of dropped out and had a tough finish to the Salt Mine. Who knows what he could have done if he was able to play Salt Mine 2. Maybe he would have made it into that last final. I have him listed as basically not available because he didn't make it into the final, but he did play that final pool play after requalifying for it and was clearly, one of North America's top players. But Not enough to be any higher than 10. I could see Diaz getting put in here. You guys put Fatira. I think Fatira is too high of recency bias. If you ask me, Fatira should not necessarily be in here just because it's a full year list. Jack had a little bit better early year. But anyways, I had Jack at number 10. Jack at number 10. And at number 9, who put Fatira at number 10? Chat did. Number 9, I have Chronic. You guys didn't even list Chronic, which I'll be honest, is pretty surprising to me. I know I might be slightly North American biased. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about Chronic. But Chronic getting second at Chalkcast Duels was huge. You guys dropping some L fears. But Chronic spent the time as North America's best 1v1 player. I don't know if you guys remember, but Chalkcast Duels was a huge event. I mean, outside of Salt Mine 1, 2, or Salt Mine 3, stage 1, 2 in the final, Chalkcast Duels was definitely the next biggest tournament. And it was a 1v1 tournament that happened on essentially LAN. On essentially LAN because I think everybody was in the same place after Worlds, or I think it was after Worlds before Gamers 8. And so everyone was both wanting to play 1v1 and playing cross server. So this was a tournament that was like the closest thing we've had to a LAN where both North America and EU were playing against each other, something that Salt Mine 3 didn't even have. So I weighed Chalkcast Duels as well as Fear Fiesta, which was my smaller version of it, very highly. And Chronic only lost to Rawas in Fear Fiesta, which got him knocked out, tied for 5th because it was single elimination. And then Chalkcast Duels got second to only Moxie. Is he? He is 0-1 in the Zen streak. Was he in the original Zen streak? I tried to make sure I grabbed everybody who was in the Zen streak. Was Chronic in the original Zen streak? I don't think he was. I'll try and pull up his RL duels real quick to double check. Because if he played Zen afterwards, I didn't just include all of the 1v1s that Zen played. I'm looking through his. Yeah, okay. He is not in the list. So he probably played Zen eventually, but he wasn't part of the Zen streak, which I think was really the time in which Zen was playing his best and which everyone was most focused on that matchup. He lost right after the Rawas match. Oh, okay. So it was right after. So I had Chronic at number 2. Fear a Chronic Glazer. Guys, Chronic spent time, like I said, after Chalkcast Duels, people were saying Chronic was the best 1v1er in North America. Which would mean to say, like, if you're going to put any North American 1v1er on there, it would be Chronic. That's over Daniel, over First Killer, over Jack. So I had Chronic at number 9. You guys didn't even think about him at all. No, I don't even think we saw any votes for him towards the end of there. And I feel like you must have just forgot about Chalkcast Duels. Because to me, that was a huge tournament. So we'll move on. After number 9, I have TRK. You guys had TRK as well. I think you guys might have had TRK a little bit higher, but this gives you a good idea of why TRK is so low. I think a lot of people will probably be surprised to see TRK as low as 8, only because he's obviously very good. His Salt Mine Stage 1 and final, he didn't make it into that top 4. He ended up losing in the round before that. He did get top 3 in Salt Mine Stage 2. But really, he just kind of didn't play 1v1. So that's why he's only down at number 8. I see a lot of L's in chat. I don't know if they're saying L because he's too high or low. But basically, TRK, had he played in more things, I think would probably end up being higher. The 1v1 World Cup, as I pointed out, technically doesn't count. But he did win the 1v1 World Cup. And he did go 3-1 at Gamers 8. Only losing to Beast Mode, I think. But certainly was considered, one of the best players the way he was playing on LAN there. Just he wasn't involved in more things. Is this list purely results-based or your personal preference? I think naturally it's going to include a little bit of personal preference from me, but I tried to make it as results-based as I could. So now, number 7. I had First Killer. I think you guys had First Killer around here as well. I think that coming away with a Salt Mine win in any stage, Salt Mine Stage 1, 2, or the final, is huge. I think to not have any one of those guys in the top 10 would have been insane. And I think both I and you guys included everyone who won a Salt Mine stage in the top 10. But I do think that considering the rest of First Killer's performances throughout the whole year, he is going to be the lowest of the people who did win a salt mine stage. So he won the first stage. He completely disappeared in the second one and then pushed back and lost only to Daniel in the salt mine final. So it was not an essential second. He really shouldn't have lost earlier in order to force himself onto Daniel's side of the bracket. But either way, a loss to Daniel to eliminate him, to get third. Didn't do well in the Chalkcast duels. I don't know if he's ever had a ton of great performances cross-region, which is this tournament was cross-region. Didn't play in the Fear Fiesta, and then had a fine Gamers 8. I think he beat a couple people who he definitely should have beat, but didn't really clutch out some of the tougher games. And so that's what has First Killer at number 7. So the reason why he's probably over like a TRK is because he did win a salt mine. He won a salt mine. It is much easier to win a salt mine in North America. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that it's equal to the salt mines earlier that, TRK did not win in, but he also never made it to a final. And especially if we take out the 1v1 World Cup, basically TRK just completely absent, really, from 1v1. So now we move on to number 6. Number 6, I have Nupo. I've got Nupo at number 6. If you guys remember, he had obviously a good finish to Salt Mine. I think he's going to be fresh in everybody's head because he lost in the grand final of Salt Mine to Nas. Didn't have a great stage 2 alongside, I think him and Zen both had a pretty poor performance in that pool. Made it tied for third in the stage 1. A terrible Chalkcast duels. If you guys remember, the Chalkcast duels happened right before Gamers 8, which you'll see does not have a record for because he didn't even play in it. He didn't play in it because TRK took over for him, even though it was expected to be Nupo before Chalkcast duels. He had such a bad Chalkcast duels. I think he didn't win a game. I think he just lost out immediately, that they said, screw it, TRK is going to play him for us instead of you. So I think had he been able to clutch out here a little bit, had he played Fear Fiesta, and maybe, had a couple more wins in Gamers 8, could have pushed higher. But he did finish really strong. And so that's why I have Nupo at number 6. Now, I think you guys probably have a general idea of who is left because there has been a very consistent top 4 over the course of the whole year. But a wildcard player potentially could have pushed into the top 4. Somebody who finished really, really strong as you could ever possibly finish, if you ask me, but not strong enough to push into the top 4. So I have Nas at number 5. I think you guys had Nupo at 5, Nas at 6. I swap them. I highly, highly value Assault Mine Stage 2 and Assault Mine Final win. These 3 matches are the biggest matches or the biggest tournaments to basically ever be played in 1v1, especially the Assault Mine Final in EU. I mean, NA fanboys aren't here to defend a lot of the NA players based on the votes. I should be, your NA representative, but the reality is Assault Mine Final win over in EU is much bigger. It's a few steps above Assault Mine Final win in NA, and there was no crossover event. So we have to give Nasus credit. 2 wins, and 2 out of the 3 salt mines in EU is unbelievable. It's huge. And for that, he's worked his way all the way into number 5, despite not having much of anything else going for him in the rest of the tournaments. So, one thing you will notice is that nobody has had anything under Rule 1v1 Invitational. Nobody has anything here, and that is because the top 4 players in all of the year were the players that were invited to the Rule 1v1 Invitational. And I think that that's very clear. Maybe I'm slightly spoiling the rest of my list, but I think that it's pretty obvious who the top 4 was. Somebody said Nas is on Matey. To be fair, he's on Matey now, but he played on SK Gaming for the whole year when he was playing 1v1. So not even sure if he was officially announced on Matey on any of these tournaments. Maybe one of the salt mines he was, but he basically played the year on SK Gaming, so I just included the SK logo. So number 4. The order of these, I think, could be tossed around by a lot of different people. What did you guys go? You guys went Rawas, and then you went Moxie, and then Zen, and then Daniel, right? That's what you guys did? You guys went Rawas, Moxie, Zen, Daniel. That's from 1 to 4. My number 4 is Zen. I went with Zen at number 4. And the reason why Zen finishes at number 4 instead of maybe higher than the rest of them is for a couple reasons. One, finishing last in Rule 1v1 Invitational hurt him a little bit. Now, to be honest, I think he did perform okay. I think he got a win in like the group stage of it, but then in the playoffs, lost to Daniel and then finished basically last of the top 4. And then also was not able to win a Salt Mine, did get a second. So in the first Salt Mine, did lose to Moxie in the final, but didn't really have stellar Salt Mines afterwards, enough to maybe make him surpass a couple of the people that I felt had a better year overall. And he's also heavily carried, and the reason why he's still above anybody else in this list, like especially Nas, who won 2, is the Zen streak. The Zen streak was insane. It's almost enough, depending on where you put the Zen streak, you could even bump him up more. If you felt like the Zen streak was everything about 1v1 for this year, I could see you putting him almost to no end, depending on how much you care about it. Obviously, there must be an end because the Zen streak wasn't completely undefeated. But I have Zen at number 4. And number 3, I think, is potentially debatable. My number 3 and number 2, I bounced back and forth with a lot. I at first, I had it the other way around than the way I ultimately decided. But number 3 for 2023, I went with our boy Dan. Our boy Daniel at number 3. A Salt Mine Stage 2 win, a Salt Mine final win, and a second place loss only to First Killer in Salt Mine 1 is about as good of a finish you could get from a 1v1er in North America. But it was just North American competition. When he played in Shotcast Duels before Gamers 8, not only did he, drop out of Gamers 8 after not performing well, but he also didn't do too great in Shotcast Duels considering his standard. He did well when the top 4 played against each other, got second, lost to Moxie in the Rule 1v1 Invitational. And when he played Ranked Royale, which was actually a pretty high level tournament, I would say, even though just because it was a bit smaller, I put it under these other ones. The North American one was First Killer, Jack, Daniel, and Wisty. Wisty had made it through the qualifiers, beating like Chronic and a few others that were, very high level. He was able to take them down. He ended up losing the crossover to Zen, to be fair. So that's why I put the little asterisk that he got first. We did do a crossover over the 2 winners. Zen won Ranked Royale in EU. Daniel won in NA. But pretty much all of this comes down to is this top right corner. This top right corner, winning Salt Mine Stage 2, winning the Salt Mine Final, being clearly the best player. I didn't include this match, but he also, after the end of Salt Mine Stage 2, played against Nas, the winner of Salt Mine Stage 2 in EU, and won that head-to-head pretty convincingly as well. So that's just another good win for him. He finished super, super strong, and throughout the whole year was one of the best 1v1ers. Did fine in the Rule 1v1 Invitational with these top 4 players. That's why I have him ahead of Zen. I think a lot of people could have Zen ahead of Daniel. I actually had Daniel for a bit, even higher, one higher rung up, but then after making this presentation, I was like, you know what? I can't do it. Daniel has to go down to 3. And the dogs are really excited. The dogs are really excited about the next one. Here, I'm gonna get a drink of water, add suspense while the dogs, All right. For your guys' 1 and 2, you guys had Rawas 1 and Moxie 2, I believe. For my top 2, I have Moxie number 2. Moxie number 2, I have a feeling you guys know who's at number 1. Moxie winning Salt Mine Stage 1, winning Chalkcast Duels, and winning Rule 1v1 Invitational, I think are arguably enough to put him at number 1. There's a world in which you could make an argument for Moxie to be number 1 because Salt Mine Stage 1, the first Salt Mine, I think was one of the ones that was like most hype. Most people were ready to play for it. Maybe didn't have as much prep as the final, but it had a ton of hype, ton of attention, ton of pressure. He won that. He won Chalkcast Duels, the biggest crossover between EU and NA in any 1v1 tournament. He won that, huge. And then Rule 1v1 Invitational, the time when they put all these 4 best players together and had them play against each other, he won that as well. So those were huge wins. Huge wins. That's why it's no question number 2. It couldn't be any lower than that. But he did have a poor finish by his standards in Salt Mine Stage 2 in the final. To be fair, he lost those only to Zen and Rawas. And I say that he only got eliminated by Zen or Rawas. He had to get other losses in order to finish lower and have to play from lower parts of the bracket than he should have. But ultimately, when it came down to the elimination games, the times when Moxie normally clutches up, he did end up getting knocked out by either Zen or Rawas or a combination of the two, which is not, it's forgivable for the most part. But he had a bit of a stinker. Fearfest Jr. is one of the lowest, things I valued. But if you guys remember, Moxie, Nupo, Drowley, and Nas played in a tournament with all 4 of them. Moxie went 0-2 out of that and did get last at that. I gave him a yellow instead of a red for getting last because he was picked because he was one of the top 4 players at the time. So we can't really punish him too much. But it was a last place finish, which of course means I have a number 1, as you guys all have assumed, Rawas. Rawas at number 1. I think it's another year for Rawas at number 1. I feel like he ended the end of last year as the best player. I can't tell you for sure. I didn't think about it for the whole year of 2022. I think people who did rankings weren't really doing full year rankings like I tried to do this time around. But Rawas just does not have a bad result. He does not have a bad result ever. His worst results are, these tied for thirds, which he kind of got across the board, losing to only the best players. And then, in the Rule 1v1 Invitational, that was actually second to last. But still, great performance. He ended the Zen streak, which was huge. And this I valued really, really high. I think the cultural significance in 1v1 of the Zen streak and the fact that it ended with Rawas and everyone decided Rawas was for sure the best player in the world in a way that, nobody had that kind of resolution in a long time. You have to give credit to Rawas. And then Gamers 8. Gamers 8 came around. I didn't double check this number. This was off the top of my head. I double checked all the other numbers. I think he played 8 1v1s and he won them all. I think he went 8-0. But if somebody even wants to remind me that that's wrong, that's just off the top of my head. I realized I forgot to double check it. I double checked all the other ones. But I don't think he lost a single game, and I think he won 8 of them in 1v1. So a huge 1v1 performance on LAN, clutched out. We saw other players not being able to do that, right? Daniel plays great 1v1 online, could not do it at LAN. TRK plays great 1v1 online, couldn't get the win against, I think, Beast Mode. So Beast Mode was clutching out on LAN. Obviously, they're all best of ones, but the reality is, when it came down to it, Rawas did not lose. Did not drop any best of ones. His worst issue, he did win Fear Fiesta, which is another one of those crossovers between NA and EU. That's this middle one here. These two are similar tournaments, Chalkcast Duels and Fear Fiesta. Mine was a bit smaller, it was single elimination. But he did win it. He won that over Moxie, and then I think he lost to Moxie in the semifinals of Chalkcast Duels. So for the longest time, he would only ever lost to, I think it was Moxie or Daniel. Because those are the only 2 players he ever got losses to, which are the number 2 and number 3 on my list. And then towards the end of Salt Mine, he picked up a couple losses in pool play against new people like TRK and maybe Nupor. There was a couple more people that he lost to. It wasn't just Moxie and Daniel, but for many years, it had been only Moxie and Daniel. So that's my list. Rawas number 1. Puppy Puncher, thank you for the prime. Moxie should be number 1 easily, IMO. I think there's a good argument for that. I think Salt Mine Stage 1, Chalkcast, and Rule 1v1 Invitational. You can put Moxie at number 1, and it wouldn't hurt me. But one of the biggest differences between Moxie and Rawas is the Zen streak. Moxie was just another number in the Zen streak, and Rawas won in his match. Which you might be saying, why does a singular match hold so much value to you? I think for those of us who were watching the Zen streak and experiencing the Zen streak, we know that every 1v1er was going into their Zen match like it was RLCS. Like everybody just wanted to beat Zen so bad and was so locked in their effort to beat him. And Zen equally as locked in his desire to keep the streak going. Those were just some of the highest level 1v1 we've seen. And Moxie lost it. Roas won it. And I think that that's just a humongous win. So that win plus not having any poor results really anywhere, losing to only the best players ever, and that's what got him number one. I think that people could have stole it from him. Just to be clear, I think Zen, Moxie, a lot of other people could have stole it from him if they had more consistent salt mines. The fact that Nas stole the salt mine stage 2 and salt mine final from somebody who had a better year in the previous parts of the year, I think he locked in Roas at number one. Whereas if Zen had won one of these or two of these, if Moxie had won one of these or two of these, or he did win one of these, if he had won two of these, or even got like second or third maybe instead of, although it's hard to blame him, but because he got eliminated by the good players, but he was in the wrong spot because of seeding, because of losses to other people. So anyways, I went with the Ross. You guys went with the Ross too, so I shouldn't be trying to defend myself too much against you guys. And I added your list. This is my list versus your guys' list, which of course you guys know what that means. It's time to find out whose list is better. And only the Twitch chatters are going to get to vote. Chat or Fear? Whose list is better, chat? One's in chat for your guys' list. Two's in chat for mine. And I'm going to make sure that this poll is not awkwardly placed. Here, I'll put it up here. Who's got the better list? Do you guys feel good about your own list, or did I do better? So let's see. Our big differences are, we have the same top four. I have Daniel over Zen because of just his salt mine finish was so good. I think his end of year was probably better. And that's why I had to give him the shout out. I mean, not doing so is basically saying North American salt mine just like doesn't matter at all, which I don't want to say. I do say EU salt mine is more important. I had Nas, and I'll be honest, I thought Nas, like I felt criminal almost putting Nas this low with how huge of wins he got. Those tournament wins, stage 2 and the final they're the biggest wins ever in 1v1. And so I was like, man, am I really going to put the guy who got the two biggest wins in 1v1 like almost ever at number 5? And ultimately I decided, yeah, he didn't pass over these guys. But you said even Nupo was ahead of him. I just swapped them. First killer I had a little bit higher. Maybe that's my North American bias, but he did win a salt mine stage 1. You guys had a salt mine winner as low as 9. It's a bit low for me because I think salt mine was huge. TRK, we're pretty much the same on TRK. Drowley I didn't have. Drowley was the guy that I didn't even really think of when I thought of like the top 15 or so. But Drowley was pretty good. Drowley was could even have been an honorable mention. He surged late, but I don't think he did enough to beat these people who had really good performances. Chronic was like rated the top 1 North American. Chalk Kestules was huge for him. And then I think Jack still had a great year. The problem is he flubbed it towards the end. But I know experiencing the year that Jack was playing like and considered one of the top players in 1v1 for the majority of the time. It wasn't until the end that really he dropped out. And Vatira is a great example of somebody who popped in, and I think that's a good pick if you're skewing the bias towards the end of the year. So that's where you guys went with. And it looks like you guys voted that my list is better. Oh, thank you so much, chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You need a top 50. That's what I'm talking about. Melee to top 100. And I'd be down to put in the work to do top 100 if I knew a ton of other people were, and then we used the community rankings. But it's hard. I don't know if we have enough matches and cross matches across regions and stuff to do it exactly like Melee does. But I went and did this. I went and looked at the list that Johnny Boy made. Now, I went back and watched his video. I'm pretty sure his video was a current skill level, like current ability at the end of the year list. It was not a full list performance. So just to be clear, that means our list will probably be more similar than they would have otherwise been, because presumably the players who were the best at the end of the year probably did well in the following year. Whereas, the beginning of 2022 was probably completely ignored for the most part in Johnny's list. But this is the Johnny's list over here versus my list, which you guys voted was better than the other list. And it's interesting to see who stayed at the top. I mean, Rawas top for 2 straight years. Moxie jumping up. Jack dropping a bit down. Yan, I just think wasn't involved enough in tournaments once he went back to South America. So it's really hard to say he had a great year. Khaled, I don't think was as relevant. AJ, I don't think had a year that like Chronic had with Chalk Cast duels. And then, Nupo in addition. Nas, a huge addition. And then First Killer maybe a bit better with that Salt Mine win. Is Yan even around? He is. He's playing in South America, and he's doing great there. But I believe that is it for my nice presentation. So, it doesn't mean we're done yet. It doesn't mean we're done because I know what you guys want to do so desperately bad, which is we get over the whole, let's consider the whole year. And instead, let's find out who's good right now. Right? How about Drally? I would have had Drally in like the 15-ish range, I'm sure. Vatira should never be in the top 10. I mean, Vatira is on track to being in the top 10, but he didn't really break through. I don't think he had any top 4s in the Salt Mine. So it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't good enough for the top 10. So now we move to tier list, and you guys are going to help me with this. So I took the top, what do you say, 40-ish players? Because I think the last time I saw a tier list done, that's about how many they did. So I took the top 4 from like RL duels, and that's what we're going to do here today. And the way we're going to do it is everybody in Twitch chat is going to get to vote. So we'll probably go in like alphabetical order or something through these guys and just put them in their ranks together. We're going to do this together. I haven't even prepped for it at all. I prepped for it in the sense that I watch 1v1 like you guys do, but I did not pre-make a tier list or anything. And this will be based on right now. This is right now. What are the tiers? Where are they right now? For example, I would assume Nas will be much higher than maybe you would have otherwise put him after his 2 wins in Salt Mine EU. So this is now, right now. But we're also going to take another ad break, and then I'm going to get some water and stuff, and then we will start again with doing the tier list. Just 1v1. Just 1v1. It is just 1v1. I did include Dark. Could you guys believe that I maybe didn't at first, but I knew that people would want to try and classify Dark. And so if I didn't put him in there, everyone would be asking, where do you put Dark? So I said, screw it. He is very hard to rank. Yes, he's very hard to rank. To be fair, I basically just wanted a cop-out. Yeah, I don't want to have to rank him. It's hard to put him on the list. Dan S tier, #1 in the world. We shall see. We shall see what everyone decides. I will order them. I don't think I'm gonna have you guys vote on the order. But if we agree on the tier, which I imagine we often will, then I'll try and order them as best I can in each tier. Add Wave Dash as tier. And just drop Dark in the Wave Dash tier, I assume, is why you're saying that. It's so difficult because like everyone in this list, like A and S tier. You think everyone in this list is A and S tier? I think you're not expanding your list enough then. You're not thinking it through too much if you think all of them are an S or A. Because then you could just, if they all were an S or A, you just just expand the list a little bit. Just pull down the people at the bottom till they get down to, you know, a D range. To be fair, the way I got these is I just generally went through RL duels to get like the top 40-ish. And if anyone was really missing, I might have not found them. But RL duels is pretty good now. So in about 20 seconds, people should be back from ads. I'll intro what we're doing here again for the lovely people at home, and then we'll start voting. Let me see if I can make this really easy on myself. Drop this down over here. You wonder where Frosty's going to place? Frosty's actually really high on RL duels. Like, we were talking earlier about RL duels and how it might inflate a little bit. Like, there's a chance that RL duels has inflated him a little bit. Okay. All right, it's time now to do a tier list of Rocket League 1v1 players in their current form. We just went through and talked about 1v1 players over the course of the year and said who had the best year. Now, we want just who is the best 1v1 player right now. I am going to be guiding you guys, but for the most part, I have a feeling we're going to go with your guys' ratings a lot. But if I think you guys are being ridiculous, then I will correct you. So we're going to go alphabetical order just to start. If you guys really want to jump ahead to somebody, you can type it in chat and I might let you. But we'll start with apparently Jack. 1v1's golden boy. Where do you guys have him? People in the Twitch chat will be able to vote. And the votes will actually cover the YouTube chat while it shows up. Do you guys have Appjack? In what tier? This is maybe a good time to start. You know, you start with Appjack and you base it off him. We can always move people later. So as we go through, if you guys feel like somebody we've put in a certain place is too high or low, then we'll move them around. And I'll give you guys generally like 45 seconds because for some reason at 45 seconds, this thing switches and says 1 minute. So you guys have Appjack in B. And I think that's okay. I think it's a good place to start. We'll see if we want to go back and move him. But I think for now, that's a decent position. Where's Zen? He's on here. So we'll get down to these guys here at the bottom eventually. Zen's not missing. We're just starting in alphabetical order. So now Atomic. Yo, Newton Health 57. Thank you for the prime. I'll try and pull up these guys' RL duels when we need to. Maybe I can pull it up each time. But RL duels is, first off, I could never say a bad thing about RL duels. I love it. But what it isn't is ultra fast. It's a bit slow. So here's Atomic in his recent matches, if that helps you at all. Looks like he didn't qualify for Assault Mine, but maybe tried a few times. Did beat Justin. Had a tough time against Chronic. Did beat AJ at Gamers 8, it looks like. I think AJ had a really tough Gamers 8. Was losing to Cosmic. This was kind of before everyone realized Cosmic was super good. But this actually looks like a huge win, and actually he gets 106 points for it. That makes sense. Atomic versus, you guys probably can't see this like at all. I can zoom you in a little bit more, even though that'll not fit perfectly. There, at least that's a little bit better. This win over Shoddy is actually huge, and he gets a ton of points for it. But you guys are going to drop him in D. Okay, Atomic in D. I think that might end up being correct for Atomic. Just because this is a list of truly the best 1v1ers in the game. Obviously, Atomic is, you know, an insane 1v1er who would torch just about everybody who plays the game, but maybe not the people on this list. How about other Atomic? That'll be funny to do. The other Atomic. What do you guys think about him? He made it into Assault Mine in EU. tougher thing to qualify for than the NA ones, I would argue, and Atomic failed to qualify for the NA ones. Here's Atomic's most recent matches. A lot of Salt Mine games from him in the closed qualifiers, main events. I think it holds his ranking. Yeah, they have him at number 33 on RL Duels. A lot of wins here. Losses to TRK, Rawas, Moxie, Khaled, Joria, Zato. I mean, those are losses to, including a win over Toxic. He's basically losing only to EU's top 5 or 6 or 7 without thinking about it too terribly hard. But despite the EU bias that everyone was saying chat had, looks like chat is settling on joining the other Atomic here in the D, but I can reorder these, right? Yeah, okay. I'm going to put EU Atomic ahead of NA Atomic. All right, Atto chat. Fear freeze? Wait, what am I freezing? Fear is just watching the Twitch chat. I'll check the YouTube chat on occasion. You pulled up Atomic's RL Duel. I pulled up both of them, right? I pulled Atomics up and I pulled Atomics up. Let's pull up Atto. The poll is blocking YouTube chat. Yeah, you know what? YouTube chat. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Your chats get to be seen in the brief moment between how do you say polls? Okay. Here's Atto. Ranked number 26 according to RL Duels. Lost to Vatira, Jorias, Rawas, beat Drally. You guys had Drally in your top 10. But he actually had a bit of a tough finish. These are all Salt Mine games. You can see he did pretty good in Gamers 8 actually. But Salt Mine I would say wasn't great for him. He was looking better before Salt Mine. I would go load the other pages, but it actually takes a really long time to load the pages. You guys are going to drop him at B. You're going to drop him at B with Appjack. What would you guys think? Would you guys put him above or below Appjack? I think you guys have below. Below. Oh, chat is universal. Okay. All right, we'll keep him below. If I had Appjack and Atto play each other right now, they're both in EU for a major. I'll let you guys put them below, but I'm not so sure like you guys are sure. You guys seem to think Appjack for sure winning that. I don't know about that, but it depends. I mean, Atto really had a tough finish. If you guys thinking that he's going to continue his tough finish, then you could be right. All right, AJ now. AJ, where do you guys have AJ? This is right now in this exact moment. AJ had a pretty good finish to Salt Mine, I would say. He started doing a lot better. I don't think he ever made a top 4 from what I can remember. But, oh no, he did make a top 4. He made top 4 in stage 2. He made a top 4 in stage 2. But that is it. Why are people saying D? Because they're haters. All right, you guys have Mr. AJ at B. Where do we put him in here? Is this okay? Or do we put him at the bottom? I think he's, I mean, he could be here too. Let's see. What is his recent... I feel like because he had a better Salt Mine, I have more faith in him. Abject did not have a good Salt Mine. So I'm going to put him here. I think that our boy AJ was on the rise there in the final moments. And I think he might have even had wins against Abject, if we're being honest. I'd have to go double check. In the group stage of Salt Mine. He was not in... Oh, he finished 1-4 in Group A. Yeah, that's not great. But Stage 2, I think he had a good Stage 2. He was never in a group with, apparently, Jack, though, because apparently Jack didn't play Stage 2. Stage 1, you guys are on to the next one, but here I am, stuck on this one. Okay, they did play, because I want to say they did it on my channel, and I thought maybe AJ won. Nope, he lost. Jack beat him 3-1. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's this. All right, Zapatos. Zapatos. The barrier. The Salt Mine barrier himself. Could not grab a win in the Salt Mine, I don't believe. But did a good job of making sure he was there. And it sounds like if you're asked chat, they would say the bottom of Salt Mine is a C rated ones player, which I think, based on what we've seen so far, is accurate. I think that's a good placement. These guys, I mean, to be fair, Atomic, I wonder how Atomic Zapatos would do. I think that I might favor Atomic in a match against the Zapatos. So I don't know. Are you guys okay with me moving Atomic up and saying that the bottom of Salt Mine is C? I'm gonna do that. I can't reconcile Zapatos being a full tier above of EU Atomic. So we're just gonna move him like this. And if you guys really care that much, then we'll adjust it later. All right, beast mode, chat. Fascist? What is this, authoritarianism? Yeah, sorry guys. Like I said, you can guide me, but ultimately I decide. Where do we have Mr. Beast mode? Mr. Beast mode. Interesting. I think I'm gonna have to use my authoritarian regime again here, chat. I think I'm gonna have to use it again, based on what you guys are voting. Let's go defend. Since this one is gonna be contentious between me and you guys, let me defend myself with evidence. Let me pull up beast mode. Here's beast mode. So beast mode does have a win over AJ. Skippy lost to Daniel, beat Wavy, lost to Evo. I think he's just very inconsistent, and I wouldn't put him at a level that is beating players in a... Dude, it went over First Killer. This was when First Killer was stinky. Interesting. I may be seeing a little bit more of what you guys are saying with A. By the way, Gamers 8, I know we loved beast mode when he played in Gamers 8. I know that a lot of 1v1 hype was given to him for that. I think that that's a whole different world than if a set of games would be played now. So I don't really count Gamers 8. Not to mention, it looks like he went 2-2 at Gamers 8. So it's not like unbelievable results at Gamers 8. Yeah, to be fair, I don't know if I was going to have beast mode A. I think I was going to have beast mode more like B range. Especially if you have Appjack. Doesn't look like you have any head-to-heads with Appjack. You guys want beast mode A. I feel like... Okay, wait, it changed. I didn't end it, and maybe I adjusted everybody enough. I would almost put him here. I think AJ's had more consistent results to believe. I don't know, man. AJ's hot and cold. AJ's tough to read, if I'm being honest. But you guys had him above Atto, and I let you get away with that. At least bottom of B. Yeah, I think we put him at bottom of B. I think AJ's placement is not sitting comfortably with me. How about Chronic, chat? Not that AJ should be any tier different, but if we're just trying to order them. Wait, is this based on Salt Mine? No, not necessarily. Somebody in chat asked if this is based on Salt Mine, and the answer is no. It's based on if they played a tournament right now, like who's the best 1v1ers right now. The The reality is, everyone played Salt Mine a couple weeks ago, and everyone was giving it their all, and that's definitely the best read that we're going to have on their player's ability. So the reality is, it will kind of just be the Salt Mine results. But I think we'll still end up shaking it out maybe a little bit more than we would have thought. This will take forever. Yeah, we'll go a little bit faster. Everyone is fully in for Chronic at A. So we'll move on to CRR. You didn't play. If you did, you would have. I think Chronic at A is good. Abjack is S. I think that's wrong. I think we're good. I think Abjack's in the right spot right now. Ooh, this one is a bit of a toss-up. It's interesting how it's so even across the board from A, B, and C. Ultimately, you guys picked B. I think that we're going to put him here. Under Chronic and A. I think that CRR is underrated. I don't know why, man. The dude can just get result after result after result after result. And people were voting C. Like, what? All of you C voters need to look in the mirror. You need to get up, walk over to the nearest mirror, look in it, and think, what do I have against CRR? What do I have against CRR? We are voting for Daniel right now, and I have problems with everybody in chat who didn't put S. I agree. All right, chat. Here's the impossible to rate Mr. Dark. I'll see what you guys say. I'll see what you guys say for Dark. If this isn't perfect, it's like this is the range spread between S and D. Is he the best player in the world? Or is he not that good? No one will ever know. I tell you what, he's S entertainment, that's for sure. You played with Dark on my team in 1700 twos. Okay, you guys are gonna vote S. It looks like, technically. This perfectly encapsulates why Dark is so tough. I think S is just an exaggeration by chat. So, which means you haven't made my job any easier. I don't think that Dark is D. Just to be clear, like so far we have Atomic and D. I think that especially against NA players, Dark does really well. And like I think a match against Zapatos, I feel like I'm gonna put him at the bottom of C, which is basically we know Dark has the potential. But like the reality is he doesn't have the backup for it. So I mean there's a really good chance that it's like a legacy C. Because we're talking about a guy who beat Daniel when he was, high up. Daniel has waves too, but CRR is not B. Immortal DNA. I already gave my lecture. We'll see if we end up keeping Dark there, but we have to move on because we can't take forever. All right. I think it's either C or D for Dark, just in full honesty. I love watching Dark. Most interesting player to watch by a long shot. But when it comes to, if any of these guys were to play in a show match, it just depends, dude. Sometimes Dark just goes crazy, and I think he could be really high. He's shown that in the past, but he's certainly not S like you guys voted him, even though he is S tier entertainment for sure. Where is Jory? He's right here. You scared me there for a second like he wasn't on there. All right, you guys have Diaz as A. And I think that that's fair. I'm actually going to put Diaz at the top of A. Hopefully, you guys don't mind that. The even distribution so far? Yeah, who knew? Who knew skill was so perfectly divided across the alphabet? All right, chat. Drally. Where do you guys have Drally? Does Diaz have a team for RLCS? Yes, he does. I think the initials for it are W7M, but I couldn't tell you what team that is. Everyone says Drally is easy. They have him at A. Do you guys have him at the top of A? What do you think about that? Is that a W? W position? I feel like he could maybe go second. You guys have him behind Diaz. Second. All right, I saw a few people say second. We'll put him behind Diaz. Okay. Evo. He's better than Diaz? Yeah, I think he could be first. So one of the things you have to realize, guys, and listen, North Americans, just plug your ears. North Americans, plug your ears for like 15 seconds. So we've only seen Diaz play in the North American Salt Mine, which is a much weaker tournament than the EU Salt Mine. And so I think Drally's performance in the EU Salt Mine probably indicative of being able to win against a guy like Diaz, who has only ever played against the North American Salt Mine. All right, North Americans, welcome back. This one's tight. People trying to decide between B and C, it looks like. Let's see. Where do I have Evo? I think I have him above. I think I have him up here in B for sure. I actually think I have him above Beast Mode. I think he won a group in Salt Mine. That's what I'm thinking of when I think about him. You guys have him in B by 1 vote. I think I'm gonna put him there too, because he won a group once in Salt Mine, and you know Beast Mode's certainly not doing that. Definitely these guys not doing that. And you know, I think he's even had results where he's beating the likes of AJ Abjack. Like you could even put him up here. But the thing is, I have Atto higher. That's what's throwing me off. Is I'm like, well, not over Atto, but I think you guys have Atto a bit low. All right. You think Beast Mode is making you put people in B when in reality maybe you hadn't put Beast Mode in C? I might have put Beast Mode in C. I think you guys want to be really bad. Yeah, I think you guys wanted Beast Mode to be. If we starts piling up, that's why we have a nice order. We can drop people down. We're doing FBI. This is FBI. He's a South American player. Never heard of FBI, but apparently he's good. Some people have S tier for FBI. I think we might have some FBI fans. Put Drally at the top of A, please. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I gave my spiel about why I would have Drally at the top. Okay. People want FBI and C. Here's the thing about... I'm supposed to be the safe haven for North Americans. Atomic is pretty good, though. Guys, can we move Beast Mode down? Is that crazy? I feel like we're trying to meld. I just feel better about this right here. We can put him back if it feels right. This just feels better to me because I think... I don't know. No. I don't know. We'll put him back. I'm not sure yet. I'm up in the air. He's hard to read because all we have is Salt Mine from him. Not a lot of history. All right. First killer. FBI is from Saudi. Yeah, what did I say? Did I not say that? I meant to say Saudi, if I didn't. If Evo is there, Beast Mode should be there. Yeah. The thing is, Atomic is pretty good. Like, I keep thinking, like, okay, would Atomic be able to beat these people in the bottom list? And I'm like, maybe. The North Americans. I wouldn't favor him over Atto. Guys, I'm realizing maybe I'm also a North American hater, which is crazy. Everybody seems set on first killer A. You guys all good with me? I mean, he's probably got to be above Diaz, right? Or is he not? He lost to Diaz both times? Or they're 1-1 against each other? Can't beat Diaz. I think they're 1-1, aren't they? In Salt Mine? I think they're 1-1. I think Diaz won the first one. First killer won the second one. It's 2-1 for Diaz. Let's give Diaz the edge then. There's a third one. Oh yeah, there was a third one in the finals, right? That's what dropped First Killer down and forced him to play Daniel. Yeah, that's a pretty big win, I think. I could just be making that up. There's been so many 1v1 games. Let's see. I think Diaz beat him in the finals early, forced him to... Yeah. That's a big win. Yeah, that's Diaz in Italy for sure. Yeah. Okay, Frosty. Frosty the Snowman. You guys are up in the air, but it seems like you have C. Frosty hasn't lost yet. He did qualify for... I think he hasn't lost yet. He did qualify for the promotional relegation and then dropped out of it, which Atomic never did. But he definitely isn't above Zapatos. So for balance right now, I think I'm just going to leave him in D, which you guys were pretty much debating between anyways, just to balance it all out. But we can give Frosty the upgrade if he really needs it. All right, Grandma. You're also underrated. Am I S tier? You are also undefeated. Oh, you're also undefeated. Oh, I get you. Am I S tier? Okay. Okay, we get it. He isn't reading YouTube chat. I only read the messages that call me out for not reading YouTube chat. That's it. Didn't Dark beat Daniel in 1v1? Yeah, he beat him in the 1v1 World Cup, which is now over a year ago, I realized. Okay, Chaz Grandma in D? I guess so. He's definitely in the top of D. I feel like I'm favoring Grandma for sure in a match against Dark, though. How do we feel about that? I don't know. I think we're probably going to end up moving Dark down. We'll keep him there for now, but... all right. Hider. Chat doesn't know Grandma? Yeah, I think chat doesn't know Grandma. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think chat didn't know Grandma. Grandma, an Italian player who is kind of like a gatekeeper for EU. Yeah, and so chat's not going to go... They don't know Hyder either. Okay, you guys want Hyder D, but he's probably here. He might even be ahead of Grandma. I'm trying to remember. I think Hyder made it farther than Grandma did. I think he made it into a promotion relegation. They're pretty close. Yeah, I mean, Hyder would also beat Dark. Guys, I think we just have to put Dark down. I don't know. It hurts. But we move on. Jorias. Mr. Jorias. Wow, the fluctuation on this one's very interesting. Someone say God of Choke for Jorias. Jorias the only guy who can be the most clutch player ever and also the God of Choke, I guess. Deserves A, he can pogo. True. True. Finally, people are saying the real things. Jorias B right now. Jorias gotta be B. Says YouTube. Love you guys, as always. Always reading your chats. Let it be known. All right. B... Is he like in here, chat? He's probably in here in the middle, right? Below AJ. Behind Atto, yeah. But Atto had a tough... Like, Atto kind of... It's pretty close between those two. I think because Jorias kind of trended up late and Atto kind of trended down late, I'm just going to give it to Jorias. Right next to his teammate, Mr. AJ. He did beat AJ on your stream forever ago, so maybe put him right above him. Did he do that on LAN? Listen, I'll be honest. I'm not gonna totally split massive hairs on individual placement in tiers, but it should be generally guided. CRR moved down to B. I swear, CRR, this is my public apology to you for the people that just don't believe. Maybe I'm crazy. We'll go back and look at CRR's results, but I swear that guy just like got top 4 Chalkcast duels. Just solid results in Salt Mine. Like, dude just is a winner. I don't know. Maybe because he played in Salt Mine NA. But like CRR Atto, like these people that are below him, CRR Jorias, like, I don't know, man. CRR is maybe getting that win or like maybe favored in that. Okay, you guys have Juicy at C above the rest of these guys. I'll probably drop Juicy here. How do we feel about that? Killers. Did Killers ever try and qualify? CRR is not FK Chronic Drally level. I mean, maybe he's right here. I don't know. I think CRR is better than people give him credit for. You remember getting Rawas's autograph from Killers? Wait, what? Where do we have Killers? I don't know if he tried to qualify, but chat seems to think he's a B. I think that's probably correct. I could see him. I think he's beat AJ in a head-to-head. It's tough. He's probably just dropped somewhere in here. He could be under these guys. What even is Killers' ones record? To be fair, he hasn't played a ton recently, but he wasn't considered inactive on RL Duels, so I'd have to go back and check. This could maybe be fair, but I think you could maybe put him higher too. Lion Blaze below AJ, next to Evo. Yeah, I think next to Evo is good. You won against TRK. That alone makes him B. Killers beat TRK. When was that? But I mean, I could see it, but. Chat wants Lion Blaze in B or C. They leaned C. And that's fine. Based on where the other North Americans are at. I think that's the part right there. Why is Daniel S? Ban that guy. Absolutely ban that guy. Luis P, chat. Where do you put Luis P? Don't know him, won't rate. You know, he played Ranked Royale. He's highly ranked a lot. He's definitely, I don't know if he got into any Salt Mine. He might have gotten close. Luis Disrespect. I think that some people, YouTube saying Luis high B. People are saying between C and B. Luis P. Did he lose against Atomic? Let's pull up his. You guys said C. I think he's pretty high C if we were going to go with C. And I like his chances against these other guys. For balance, maybe we stays high C because we don't have a ton of space. He lost to Shoddy and Hyder. So, lost to Shoddy and Hyder. Jorias in these qualifiers. Lost to Drally. I mean, those are all good. So, where do we have Hyder, Jorias? Hyder we have in D. Jorias, B. Shoddy, I'm guessing you guys would probably put C. I think so. C is probably good. Top of C. Where can you find this tier list? Yeah, I think I'll give you guys the link to do it afterwards. So you should be able to make your own. It's time for Moxie. Should be easy. Should be easy, chat. Yeah, I'll give you guys the list to run it. Oh, wow. That's probably the longest I've seen only a singular vote been done for somebody. And it was for Moxie. And he is S. And I'm dropping him right there. Just so you guys know, that is very intentional. Over Daniel? No. Under Daniel. Under Daniel. It's NAS time, chat. It's NAS time. It's NAS time. It's insane to me that this isn't as obvious as Moxie was. Everybody typing A. Remember that this is not about the full year. This is about current form. We just watched the guy win the toughest EU tournaments ever. Back to back. First place. Biggest ones tournament of all time. I'm offended that so many of you put A. Nas is definitely S tier. And based on his recent performance, you could even argue for a right now, right in this very moment, you could argue for him above Moxie. And I will argue for him above Moxie. I'll put him there. Nupo. Wrong. That's one way to type it. A lot of people these days, just so you know, the kids these days, they just type L. Instead of typing wrong, they just type L and they just hold it down on their keyboard. In case you want to be hit. Okay, chat is going to have Nupo in S. And I like it. This one I think is I think it's good. I'm going to put Nupo at the bottom of S for now. We can come back if you guys really think that that's the wrong spot for him. Oh, Khaled. Oh, Khaled. Nupo is way too inconsistent for S. He did have a bit of a flub, but he's looked really good at the end of Salt Mine, and that's what really matters. Hey, this one looks tough. This one looks tough for chat, and I would agree. Khaled is tough. People bouncing between A and B, it looks like, though. Between A and B, you guys did ultimately settle on B. Why don't we snuggle him up here with his buddies that he has been at the top with for a long time. The old guard right here. No Monkey Moon? Yeah, Monkey Moon is by RL Duels technically rated inactive because he plays so little. And so I decided, should we include him when he basically doesn't play? Sure, I think he'd be somewhere higher on the list. Like, he wouldn't be at the bottom. But I thought, man, if RL Duels considers him inactive, and I think RL Duels is pretty friendly. You just have to play like 3 matches in the past like 6 months, year, or something like that. And Monkey Moon apparently hasn't done that. So, how do we feel about Khaled? This is current, right now. We feel good about Khaled in his spot at the top of B, or should he be maybe right here with his crew? Chat says CRR is 100% B. We'll see. Okay, you guys seem to have a big issue with CRR. Maybe I'm getting inflated by the fact that he played North American Salt Mine. You know, maybe if he played EU Salt Mine, I'd have a different story. Oski people are debating between B and C. B is a bit overloaded, but it looks like you guys want C. If he's C, he's definitely up here for sure. I don't think putting him under... He had a better performance than Atto. I almost feel like he has to go B. Right, chat? CRR throwing me off? Alright, chat. We're going to put CRR back down at the bottom. We're going to do CRR later. You guys need to chill out with CRR. B is getting a bit too stacked, though. So we're going to have to move him around. Keep that in mind. Raise Bull. What I haven't. I'm not saying CRR is going to be. We're going to talk about CRR again at the end once we have everyone else, because he's obviously the most contentious. Khaled should definitely be above Abject Joyous. Okay. Chat. Alongside, after we finish this, I'm trying to think of a way that you guys can vote for where Khaled should go in here while also voting for Raise Bull. I don't think there is. All right, you guys want Raise Bull and B? You guys love B. Raise Bull had a tough performance against these guys. Is he at the bottom of B? I definitely had him higher in the past, but I don't think I think he had a 4 salt mine, and then I don't think he even made or played in the last few salt mines. Let me just double check that. Raise Bull was not in salt mine 3. I can't remember if that's because he didn't qualify. I think it's because he didn't qualify, right? Zapatos beat him. I think he's gonna have to be at the bottom. I think we might even have to move him down to see if because B is just getting overloaded. All right, let's see. Braziers. Raise Bull mid-high B between Khaled and AJ. He didn't play like that. I agree he once played like that. Between Atto and Killiers for Raise Bull. You guys have Raise Bull's not above Evo and Beast Mode. They just played better in recent 1v1 matches in Salt Mine. Evo like won a group. We're talking about a Raise Bull who lost his group after getting invited and then didn't requalify. And Evo, in the meantime, was winning his group in the. So I mean, Evo's definitely in better form. Luis P greater than Raise Bull. I agree. I think Raise Bull is just based on current form, more like right there. I'm gonna leave him right there. If you guys really care that much, we could change it. All right, Raziers, you guys have B. Dude, you guys just love B. You're just B spammers. Is he here? Is he right there? Underneath Oski and Atto, but above Killiers Evo Beast Mode. Somebody said above Joria's. He could be like farther up here. Move Abject up and B mode down. That's what we might do. We might have to do that once we get there. All right, chat. Let's just do Rawas. Let's do Rawas. Okay, he's obviously S. Everyone agrees. Everyone agrees. Everyone agrees. So where in S, though? Where in S? I feel like to put him above Nas would be unfair to Nas. But maybe above Moxie? Or like this? I'm not ready to upgrade Nupo above Rawas just yet. I think he's somewhere right there. If you guys have big issues with that, we can come back as always. You'll keep in mind what you think your most annoying placement is. S5 Cosmic. Merge both of them, they are equal. Rawas and Moxie are basically one entity at this point. All right, we're going to try and go much quicker. You guys have C for S5 Cosmic. Dude, did Cosmic not play better than Evo, Beast Mode, AJ? We watched a different S5 Cosmic, I think. I'm actually going to go crazy and I'm going to table Cosmic. I think that that C is a bit low, but we have too many people in B. So I'm tabling Cosmic. I think he finished really solid. Shoddy, you guys had Cosmic in C, right? But I want to put in B. I don't think he's C. I don't think him and Zapatos. I mean, unless we have to move Zapatos down. But even him and Lime Blaze and Raise Bull, he played really good in Salt Mine. You didn't want to get yelled at for typing B. Daddy Fear scares me. To be fair, I'm not catching a ton of people's individual results. I'm just looking at what you guys say as a whole. Shoddy is going C. I think that's fair. I think he does better than FBI. I think it's probably right there. Skippy. Skippy made a salt mine. He made the final salt mine 3. I think he was gonna have to like win the whole thing if he was gonna make the finals. But I think Skippy's a little bit new to the squad. But he had to be included because he deserved it. He qualified for a salt mine. So I think being on these tier lists at all is huge. So Stizzy. He might even be ahead of Frosty. But I think Atomic... No, Frosty was going to qualify too. How did we have it before? This, maybe? Those are all pretty equal, I think. Stizzy! You guys have Stizzy pretty low. Stizzy made a main event. Stizzy made a main event. Do I need to remind you guys? Let me pull up. Stizzy made main event stage 3, and I think he did pretty well. And of course, stage 3 is the most relevant stage. Oh no, he didn't. He lost. He lost every game. He lost every game, but he went to like game 5 with TRK, it looks like, and went to game 5 with Nupo, but then otherwise he got swept on every other game. So he had a couple good ones. You guys, I did convince you to go see though. I do think that he's probably above Juicy and Zapatos and FBI, and probably right around with Shoddy. Maybe above him, maybe below him. Maybe here, maybe there. Okay. Swift. Swift is a tough read. Swift is a South American 1v1er. Youngster. I feel like he was playing really well. I don't know if he tried to qualify for Salt Mine or not. Who? Some people said who? And that's kind of a fair thing to ask. Let me see if I can pull up Swift's recent results. I'm not sure where I would put Swift. I haven't seen him in a bit. But he's not inactive, which means he's played a couple matches in like the past 6 months or so. Oh, he did play the qualifiers. Oh yeah, he made the promotion playoff, but he didn't make it. He lost to Skippy. But he beat like KV1 and Nick DeVic fast. He had some good wins. Chat's gonna go C. I probably can't put him above Zapatos, who very frequently makes the salt mine and eliminates guys like Swift. So we'll put it right there. And then we got Toxic. Lost to Skippy? Who lost to Skippy? He lost to Skippy? Oh yeah. Interesting. Everyone put him on C. I mean, Skippy... I think I'd have to see if Skippy can consistently beat Swift. I'm not really sure. Swift has shown some good performances in Brazil. Would he beat Hyder? I don't know, man. Swift might be down here. He's definitely at the bottom at C. You guys want him C? We might move him down. It's probably like here. Drop him there. Toxic, everyone has in B. Where do we have Toxic in B? Here? Somewhere with Oski and Atto, I'd imagine. Maybe below Oski. Let's not nitpick it too much. TRK. We're running out of space in B. I refuse to go 2 rows. We will have to downgrade somebody. Where do you guys have TRK? Seems like everybody has TRK in A. I think that's I think it's probably right here, chat. Would you guys disagree? You guys have Drowley ahead of TRK, or I think TRK is at the top of A. I probably have him at the top of A. I don't know if I have him under Drowley. Maybe. How about Vatira? My recency bias homies. Now is the time to use your recency bias to its best effect. Why is Dark so low? He beat Daniel. That was a while ago. That was a while ago. All right, chat's very confident in Vatira being A. What do we think about right here? I don't know. Have we seen Vatira play Chronic in First Killer? Chronic, is he bottom? He's nowhere near A. No way Vatira. I mean, I think he's A. I think A is fine. I think maybe you pull a couple other people up if you want, but Vatira's pretty good. Let's put him at the bottom. Let's put him at the bottom for now. Vatira did not have any bad results. Vatira kind of sucks now, dude. Wait, what? Did I miss Vatira sucking at the end of Salt Mine or something? Salt Mine Finals. He was a part of it. He lost to the Grand Finals Nupo in Game 5 OT. So, and he kind of just had good performances like that against pretty much. He just loses to the people above him in S consistently, but I feel like he gets wins against the people in A. So, chat deciding between A or B for Wavy. Do you guys have him up with First Killer and Chronic? Lion higher? We'll get into everybody's biggest gripes in a bit here. Chat has, he did lose to Khaled, but besides that, I think he's clear A. Well, yeah. I think he's A. All right, B for Wavy. Is it crazy to drop Wavy up here at the top of B? Am I insane for that? I think that you could even make arguments for him above Chronic. I think you'd make a really solid argument for him above Chronic. What the... WTF Wavy is clearly C. My guy hasn't been watching recent. What if... I think we have to talk about Wavy and Chronic. I'm going to put them next to each other and have chat decide who they think should be higher rated as a reminder. Let's just do it right now. No. Let's finish them out. We'll do it in a sec. I'll write down who we need to worry about. Okay, Yan is up. Let me pull up some notes. I'll pull up some notes and write down what we need to talk about here. We need to talk about Wavy and Chronic. Everyone wants to reevaluate CRR. And then you guys can let me know. Here's my list of to-dos for our tier list here. Just basically Wavy, we have to go back and look at again compared to some other people in North America. Yan, everyone has as A. And he had some tough performances. A is probably okay. I think he's probably bottom of A. Did he play Vatira? I think he kind of petered out, but to be fair, it's tough to say because he won't play across server. He won't play cross server, so it's hard to know if he like would have been able to still be at the top. Okay, let's do Zen. Let's get Zen over with. And then we're back to our tough ones. We're getting a good balance here, though. I'm feeling good about it. A talent, B based off right now. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Back in this, by the way, definitely a guy I would give a community vote if we were to do community rankings that we did aggregates of. Zen, yeah, he's definitely up in S. Let's be honest. So just where is he in S? Is it insane to say he's at the bottom? He's definitely S. He did just beat Moxie. Yeah. But we have Nupo under Moxie. I feel like probably this just feels like Nupo should be higher though. I don't know. We'll see. Those are kind of grouped. Those are more grouped, I think. Okay. Chat, what are our big qualms? We have CRR and Cosmic. Those were my qualms. I didn't like where you guys wanted to put them. Who's standing out like a sore thumb to you? Even before we do CRR Cosmic, we're going to take a break. Appjack in B is crazy. Okay. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that. Is that what people care about? CRR, obviously A tier. Appjack is not B. You guys want Appjack higher. Most of this looks solid. Upgrade Appjack. Okay. We're looking at we want to upgrade Appjack to here. I think that I don't feel super great about that. I don't hate it. I don't feel super great. I would almost rather just drop CRR back in at A. I think CRR had a much better salt mine than Appjack did. Okay, let's look at CRR. Let's look at CRR through salt mine. CRR through salt mine. Salt mine 1. He finishes at the top of his group. 3 and 2. Not a great record. He had to get it off of plus minus. Win over Zapatos. Lost to Wavy. Lost to First Killer in 5. Beat Chronic, who we have in A. And beat Beast Mode, who we have in B. Okay. Then he went into the playoffs, where he beat Evo, who I believe we have in B. And then lost to who we have at the top of the list, or I personally have at the top of the list, Daniel. So hard to beat him for that. Seems like A behavior to me so far, I would almost argue. Stage 2, CRR finishes 4th in his group, 2 and 3. Okay, maybe you guys have an argument. Win against Lion Blaze, lost to AJ. AJ can be hot and cold. We have AJ in B. A win over Cosmic, we haven't rated yet. Lost to Diaz, who we have in A in Game 5. And then lost to First Killer, who we have in A. Oh, dude, I mean, it's almost like he's right in between A and B. Okay. Stage 3, CRR goes 4 and 1 in Group A with wins over AJ. Only loses to Daniel. Beats Wavy, beats Skippy, and beats Beast Mode, that's a B, D, and A potential win, depending on what we see from Wavy. He's definitely at the top of B if you guys are saying that he should be in a B. Meanwhile, apparently Jack losing to First Killer, beating Evo, losing to Chronic, beating Cosmic, beating Diaz. Oh, that's tough. These guys are right in the same range, if you ask me. And then CRR had to step out of the finals. He didn't play the finals, but he would have been top 4 seeded. He would have been playing against First Killer, top 4. They're both A. Okay, now that I've given you guys the spiel on CRR, we've looked at his recent salt mine results. I think that's good enough for current standing. Let's do CRR again. Where do you have CRR now that we talked about it a little bit more? Okay, chat's much more certain that it's A now. We're talking about a top 4 salt mine finish, basically, with Daniel, Diaz, First Killer, and him. I don't even think Chronic finished that high. Or Wavy, who I put up there. But I'm going to even drop him right there. Above his North Americans, who he did better than in salt mine. Okay. Now let's put S5 Cosmic somewhere. And I'll talk about Cosmic as well. Let's go through Cosmic's results real quick so we can get a nice read. Because people were trying to put him like C, I think. Cosmic, 2 and 3 in the first one, in the first stage. A win over apparently Jack, who you guys are trying to upgrade to A. A loss to Daniel, very forgivable. A win over AJ, who's in B. Lost to Evo, who's also in B. And a loss to Razebull. This one I remember hurting. Cosmic probably should have won there. That one's a tough loss for him. And that, I think, gets him... Wait, he still makes it into the playoffs. In the playoffs, he beats Chronic, who we have in A. Loses to Daniel. Very forgivable. So these are a couple A wins, couple B losses. Cosmic in Stage 2 beats AJ, a B player. Loses to Diaz in Game 5, so loses to an A. Loses to CRR, who we all agree now is an A. Beats First Killer, an A. and beats Lion Blaze. Then goes to the playoffs, beats Evo, who we have as a B, and then loses to Daniel again. Man, these are very forgivable losses, so it's hard to see where he'd really end up. Then we go to stage 3 for Cosmic, and he has a bad stage 3. So maybe this is where you guys are coming from. Cosmic beats Chronic, who we have an A, loses to Diaz, who we have an A, loses to Evo, which is a B loss, although Evo, I think, is playing pretty well. Maybe we have Evo a bit low because we've used his name twice now. Loses to Jack, who we have an A in game 5, very close, and then loses to First Killer in a sweep, who we also have an A. And then I think, does that make the finals for him? It does make the finals, loses to AJ, who's in B. So it's tough. But here is your chance to do Cosmic again. Here's your chance to do Cosmic again. I mean, it's gotta be B or A. It can't be S, clearly. It cannot be C, which I think a lot of you were saying. How are some of you typing C again? I can't. I can't with some of you. Okay, you guys want B again. You guys still want B. Okay, so that means it's just going to be Jack. We have to move Jack up then. If that's... Okay, here's what we're going to do. You guys get Cosmic. Who gets moved to B? Appjack, Joriez, Khaled, AJ. I think those are the people I'd be okay with moving up. Oski, Toxic Atso. I don't know if we moved the other ones up. Maybe Evo. Evo had pretty good results. But let's just see who wants to... Of these people, who do you guys want to move up to be? Is it Jack? Is it Oski? Is it Toxic? I misspelled his name, but you know who I'm talking about. To go through Jack's results, he didn't play stage 2. Stage 1 wasn't great for him, though. He got 5th, lost to Cosmic, lost to Evo, beat Razebull, who we ended up putting pretty low. AJ, a B win, lost to Daniel. So his only win is a B win. Didn't play stage 2. Stage 3, he loses to First Killer, beats Evo, a B win, loses to Chronic, who is technically A, beats Cosmic, which is a B win, because we decided Cosmic is B now, and then beat Diaz. So that's like, he's hanging his hat on his Diaz win, because that's a big win on Diaz. Without that, no reason why you'd like obviously be picking him to jump up, but chat wants him to jump up, so we're going to jump him up. Khaled should be A2. This is looking pretty balanced. Okay, what are our other topics? Oh, we wanted to talk about Wavy. We wanted to talk about Wavy because you guys did not put Wavy where I wanted him to go. So let's just do Wavy again, but let's talk about Wavy. Let's talk about Wavy and let's talk about Chronic. So let's look at Wavy's results recently, which, by the way, obviously I'm just using Salt Mine. Technically, if you guys think that the only thing matters is Salt Mine stage 3 because that's what he did recently, I just feel like not just looking at all of Salt Mine would be crazy. But Wavy 3-2 lost to First Killer, beat CRR, lost to Chronic, beat Beast Mode, beat Zapatos. I think Wavy handles business pretty well, and then beat AJ, losing to Evo. That's B range. That's B range behavior, I would say. Wavy over here on the right beat Evo, beat Zapatos, lost to Chronic, beat Daniel, huge win. Nobody was doing that, and then lost to Beast Mode. Okay, that's a bit B behavior from him, to be honest. And then losing to CRR. Okay, that's B behavior. But he had such a good finish, I think is why I'm biased towards it. Wavy beat Skippy, beat AJ, lost to CRR, beat Beast Mode, lost to Daniel, but then he clutched in the finals. Who did he have to beat in the finals? He beat AJ and then beat Diaz. So really, he's hanging his hat on a Diaz win. Okay. I'll be honest, guys. I'm interested to see what you have to say. It's Wavy again. I dropped Wavy in A before you guys really picked him to be there. It looks like I can't move him off. Where do you guys have him? I think it's A or B, if I'm being honest. And I think after we pick, we got to talk about Chronic. Okay, chat still has him A. Chat still has him A now. Maybe I've convinced them. Next, Chronic. I think Chronic is a bit, or we can just walk through this real quick. Where did Chronic finish? 3-2. Wins against Zapatos, Beast Mode, Wavy. Losses to CRR First Killer. And then he lost in the first round to Cosmic, who we have, I think, solidly in B. Yo, Weaver, thank you for the 13 months. And then we've got a Chronic winning his group over here in stage 2, beating Beast Mode, beating Evo, beating Wavy, who we have in A, beating Zapatos, and then losing only to Daniel before losing to AJ, beating CRR, losing to Diaz. It's kind of AB behavior. You could maybe argue for dropping him down. And then the final. Chronic 2-3, not great. Lost to Cosmic, beat First Killer though. Beat apparently Jack. Lost to Diaz. Lost to Evo. Yeah, it's definitely A or B. And what did he do in the finals? Lost to Evo. I don't know, man. I think we can keep him there in A. Chronic definitely A. I think Wavy did just as good of a job as Chronic did. How do we feel? How do we feel where we're at now? Are we there? Did we find it? What's our big issue? Wavy made grand finals. True. But who did he do? Who did he beat to do it? In our list, he beat this is the grand finals. He beat AJ and Diaz. So, you know, he won on a B. He got a B win and an A win, which is good. That's why he's up here in A. Does that mean he's S? Do I think that, you know, he maybe is above Diaz or First Killer? First Killer like won Assault Mine. Maybe, I don't know. These are all pretty. Would I bet against him against Yan? Maybe. Would I bet against him against Fatira? Would I bet against him against apparently Jack? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know this exact ordering. I think we got to talk about Nas and Daniel. I know Daniel won against him between stages, but Nas in stage 3. Okay, I'll let you guys vote, but just be clear. Going with what I want. Who gets number 1? I'll put everybody in S. You guys can pick between everybody in S. Although I think Daniel and Nas are the only 2 options, if I'm being really honest. Who do you think deserves the top spot in the top left of S? How the F is Oski below Cosmic? Maybe because AJ's up a bit high. I think Atto... Evo was playing pretty good. AJ and Evo probably in the same spot makes sense. These guys in the same spot makes sense. Cosmic has to be above AJ though. Or at least it seems like it. He seems like he owns that matchup. Put Vatira in S. Chat. You guys have made the right choice in picking Daniel. Yeah, Daniel, I think he deserves number 1 right now. I think he deserves number 1. The winners of the 2 Salt Mine tournaments, you know, the biggest ones you could ever ask for, stage 2 in the final, were Daniel and Nas, and then Daniel also won the head-to-head against Nas, so I think you just put him at 1. Yeah, I don't think Vatira is S either. I think that chatter wanting Vatira higher is declined. I mean, at least not a full tier. Zen should be bottom S. I think that's fair. I think he could be here. Khaled should be A. Did he dropped out of the last stage of Salt Mine, right? I don't know. I think he's okay in B. Ads, I think, are auto-running for some people. Happy birthday to that YouTube chatter. Honestly, I feel like Cosmic should be above Atto and Toxic, but I might be delusional. I think that he'd have a tough time against the EU guys. Khaled made it to playoffs every Salt Mine bracket. Is that A-level play? I think some of these players are making it to... Oski's making it to every playoff, I think. Or is he making it to some? I mean, Khaled is at the top. Abjack, I guess, didn't, but he also... No, oh yeah, he missed one. Yeah, should Khaled and Abjack change places? No, you guys all voted for Abjack. But maybe they should. I don't know. Khaled's a bit of a wild card now, too. Khaled swept Batira. Is it better up here? Guys, is this better? Is this better? Put Dan in A? What? He's basically only lost to S players and he beat Batira. Okay, okay. I can be convinced. Maybe Khaled up here in A is better. The balance, though? Yeah, the balance is juicy. This feels like great balance. I think S tier is pretty locked in. I don't think anyone else jumps in. S tier looks good. I think A and B tier are where we're debating. Yan and Khaled swap. I could see that, actually. I could see the argument for that, because Yan maybe... How do we like the result of that, chat? How do we like the result of Yan Khaled swap? I think Yan could easily be A if he starts playing again. But to be fair, he probably had more top B type results in his late tournaments. Yeah, I think this is probably better. Yeah, we're talking about right now. Daniel ranked too high. Listen, I don't know how to ban people from YouTube chat, but just know that I'll figure it out just for you. Both of them should be B. Okay. We're going to lock it in here soon. We're not going to debate too much longer, but let's go look at Khaled real quick. Real quick. Khaled in the Salt Mine, just to get a good idea. Lost to Nupo, lost to Zen. Forgivable, forgivable. That's S tier losses. Beat Nas, S tier win. Although Nas, this is the first Salt Mine, so it's weighted the least. Lost to Moxie, beat Atto. This is a tough group, by the way. This is like an S tier group. And Khaled did pretty well in it, so... and then in the playoffs, I think he goes to lose to Vatira. We have an A. So everyone talking about he recently swept Vatira. Well, Vatira swept him, it looks like. Okay. Another almost completely S tier group that he finishes above everybody else. Loses to Moxie. Loses to TRK, A tier, top of A. Beats Toxic. Loses to Roas, S tier, that's fine. Beats Cat. I mean, this is A tier behavior so far, for sure. And then sweeps Vatira again. Everyone talking about Vatira sweeping him. He swept Vatira twice. So far, this is very A behavior. And then Khaled drops out of stage 3. Yeah, I think that's A. I think we were probably wrong to have him in B. Beast mode greater than Razier's. I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, did I swap it? Oh, okay, my bad. I might have, in stage 2, I might have misread it. Sorry. Stage 2, okay. Khaled swept Vatira here, but the first time around, Vatira swept Khaled. Yeah, okay. First time. So the more recent time was the Khaled win. The more recent time was the Khaled win. So I think that still puts him in A. Rawas, Nas, more consistent, plus also reverse swept him. Rawas greater than Nas? Nas won the biggest tournaments that have ever existed in the most recent tournaments too, so... Okay, I think you guys... Let me know if you click this link, if you can make your own, or if you're going to get mine. Pure NA bias as YouTube? I don't know about that. Raise Bowl feels a bit too low. Yeah, Razebolt didn't have a great salt mine. He lost out, and then he lost out. He lost out from his invitation, and then he lost to Zapatos to qualify. So I think he's fine there. I don't want to move him up. It's yours. Oh, did that just give you it pre-filled? Here, what if I try and go open it in a incognito or something, so it should not remember anything. Let's see. If I did a full refresh. Yeah, no, it's empty. No, it should be perfect. That should be exactly what we want. Someone said Lion Blaze. They wanted to move Lion Blaze higher. Maybe, but I don't think he moves a tier. I don't think he moves a full tier. Does he move a full tier? I don't think so, right? Am I crazy? Dark and C. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys another chance to do Dark. I mean, his recent show match that he did was against Talon. I would have Talon in C, or sorry, in D. He did lose to Talon, and that's kind of like our only recent evidence. So, you know, I think D is the right place. Once upon a time, he was up here for a brief moment. Yeah, Dark losing to Talon. I think that's it. Yeah, we'll keep him down here. I think that recent match is just kind of all we can go off of, and that's not like you got to win that match. And his previous matches weren't exactly like high wins either. I do think that he'll play way above his MMR in ranked, because MMR in ranked is fairly low compared to these other guys. I do think he'd play above that MMR, but I don't think that he would like beat Grama, Hyder. Probably I wouldn't favor him against Swift. And then I guess maybe I'm not a fan of North Americans, because maybe he could win against them, but it's probably more like here-ish with Frosty, if I had to guess. Isn't his controller broken? Hopefully he got a new one. We got him a nice donation. But all right, that's everything we agreed to do today. How do you guys feel? Didn't Frosty beat Eris and AJ? Mods, where can you find my webcam? I have like a Sony, I have like a official, it's like not a webcam, it's like a regular camera. I think we'll stick with this. I think we'll tweet this out, and this will be our collective tier list, and we'll see what the Twitter world and the rest of the world has in terms of gripes against this list. Other than Energy Frosty, who should be ass, true. First Killer and Appjack in the same tier seems like a crime given Salt Mine. Yeah, I mean, First Killer. I mean, do we drop Appjack? We went through Appjack though. I think we stuck with A for a good reason. Didn't we look through Appjack and decide that he does get to stay A? He might be lower than Khaled, honestly. I remember looking at Khaled's stuff and it looks pretty good. I don't know. I think this is fine. The direct order, we're not gonna modify too much. Swift got to be higher. He didn't qualify for Salt Mine, and Zapatos, he like lost to Skippy. And Zapatos, you know, like who's currently gatekeeping C, consistently made it. And Juicy, all these other guys are either not North American, didn't play in North American Salt Mine, and so maybe have the advantage because they're EU. Or honestly, Razebolt maybe even below Zapatos, but why Frosty D though? I think we just haven't seen enough from Frosty yet. He has some easier matches that he's won. He could be more. We're doing it. We're solidifying it. In fact, we're taking it off screen. Well, guys, GG's. Fun stream today. No show matches, but I think it's okay. I think we had a good time. I think a lot was learned. trying to think what our outro song is going to be. I want to make sure it's a safe one. I tried to make sure all the music was good for YouTube. Some of it was not. I think it's a very tame and rational tier list with no controversies. Great. YouTube chat, some terrible takes. Hey, but we love them for it. We love them for it. They're our YouTube chat. All right, guys. GG's. We're going to run some ads and we'll find somebody to raid. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys next year. We have a couple next-gen matches that we're going to have at the start of next year. You guys saw Life, the Switch player. We're going to have him on in a couple days against another next-gen player who I haven't actually been able to check out very much. But a trusted advisor has told me about the match. So that's what we'll have then. For now, thanks for hanging out and doing this tier list with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my list and everything we did today. Later.